Hello everyone, welcome to my video playthrough of The Last of Us Part 2. In this video I'm going to give you some reactions, I'm going to give you some information, try and help you find maybe some of the collectibles you have not found. Here we go.
I don't know what happened.
Those of you who played The Last of Us Part 1 are well aware that this is Joel. If you have not played The Last of Us Part 1 and you care about spoilers or stories, you might want to go back and play The Last of Us Part 1 before you play 2.
She needed her immunity.
Or before you listen to me on this.
Maybe I was starting to buy into that old cure business. Maybe I just wanted to do right by her. And then we made it. We found the firefly. Because of her, they were actually going to make a cure.
Now, obviously, on the PlayStation 4 version,
The only catch, they would kill her.
which is Part 2, the details are finer, the people look more like people in the videos, in the cutaways, in the cutscenes.
This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
Pretty important scene here.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
Now, I feel like they added a lot of detail to his hair, making him grayer, making him look older. They gave him a lot more wrinkles. So in my mind, it looks like it's a lot later in time than what we assume it will be, which is pretty quickly after, because why would he only be telling Tommy right now about what happened? Assumedly, at the end of the game, Last of Us, the first one, they must have gone back to Tommy's in order to live or to be a part of this protected community that was a walled-in power plant that they turned into whatever small community it was during Last of Us Part 1. So I don't know if it's just that the details are finer and better and they were able to put more detail in his face and in his beard, or if they just decided to make him older suddenly and change the history of the story. It bothered me a little to see that he was older.
That's a lot.
Only because I first figured it must be right after the happenstance of the first game.
I told her they just ran some tests. I told her her immunity meant nothing.
And she believed you?
Didn't say otherwise.
She acted otherwise, though. In her eyes, filling with tears, maybe that was just the disappointment of it not being anything, at least from what he told her. She seemed like maybe she didn't believe him. That's why she asked him again and asked him to promise. Also sort of an important sticking point. And you can tell Joel feels badly about it, but he made the selfish decision to save her instead of allowing her to be sacrificed. It also saved her, so it was... but she wanted it to mean something, so she was willing, although she didn't know she was, but because she was out already and they didn't ask her, they were just gonna do it. So in a way it was wrong too. She might have made that decision, but they didn't give her the ability to make that decision. A lot of this is incredible, you know, just the detail that they put in, the graffiti on the houses, the broken shingles on the roof, the paint missing. Obviously, it's been 20 years or more since the outbreak, so all of these things are dilapidated structures because in these open areas, the people who were left either were killed or learned pretty quickly that they couldn't just live in open areas like this, probably due to the infected, but also human beings, as you find out in games like this or shows like The Walking Dead, or even in real life. Human beings are also often a bigger threat than anything you might come across in the natural world. The infected in this are, of course, a big threat, but at the same time, if you don't go seeking them out and you are prepared for them, you have the smarts and the ingenuity to survive against them in general. Maybe not a horde, maybe not a swarm of them, maybe if you're unprepared, if they hit you in your sleep, obviously. But people also have that same ingenuity, so darker versions of people, evil people, nasty people, greedy people, people who want what you have, can of course get the jump on you and trick you in a much easier way. Deer, you see how they react to your movement. It's quite an advancement on the first game, playing part 2. You can just see the shadows, the darkened colors, the contrast between trees and either pre-dawn or pre-night sky. I'm not sure exactly what time we're in here. You know, on your playthrough, you could look at things closely. Just very interesting details that they put in. It's a very realistic world. And you could see that if this happened in our world, in the real world, this might be a version of the way we would handle it.
It's okay. I got him.
Don't look at me during my yawning time.
Sure.
About what we were talking about earlier. Can't say I'd have done different. I'll take it to the grave if I have to.
I think they
I'll see you later.
want us to feel for both Joel and Tommy in this situation. Tommy's being a very good brother here because it's interesting. Joel's decision will heavily affect the rest of humanity, which includes Tommy and his wife and any family he might try to have, because had they gone through with it and possibly found a cure, everyone would be safer. Everyone would be safe from being bitten and becoming one of the infected, and everyone would be safe from the rest of the infected, because once they finished them off, they might come across some every once in a while. But if they're not multiplying, because people are no longer changing, the world will be a lot safer. So Tommy's decision there is kind of surprising, that he doesn't get angry or say, "What the hell, Joel," or anything. He's shocked by it. He says it's big. There's a lot to take in, but he ultimately understands and doesn't even need to forgive Joel because he doesn't blame him for his decision. Interesting. Well, this is our first true glance at sort of time period. Ellie looks about the same, whereas, as I said, Joel seems to look older.
Jesus. Just gave me a
It
heart
could be
attack.
a year later, it could be a little bit of time later, but they didn't give us a year later screen or any time period has passed scene, so I assume we're right around the ending of the first game. So they just,
What's up,
in
Joel?
my mind, added a lot of detail to Joel, making him seem a lot older than I thought he seemed in the last
Thanks, man.
game.
You know, talking about how impressed they are with you and how well you're helping out.
It's good.
Yeah. Tommy and I went out riding the other day, and he told me a joke. And I thought about you. It's, oh shoot, I forgot it. Something about a clock. How do you?
Joel, it's pretty late and I gotta get up in a few hours.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get out of your hair. Just I want to show you something. Just give me 1 second.
It's touching the way they interact with each other. It's also worth noting that it's a little strange. Ellie seems a little uncomfortable with him here, or doesn't know how to act with him. Based on our story from the last game, they were like father and daughter, so I'm not really sure why she has this sort of attitude.
You want to hear something?
Maybe it's because she isn't sure what to believe, but at the same time you can see she feels great affection for him in her face.
Promise me that you won't laugh.
I'll laugh. I won't.
He's showing some vulnerability here, which is nice.
Trusting you.
He's always been such a badass and a hard ass. I miss some of those. I was trying to talk to you still while I was doing it. It's very easy. Yeah, I don't think you could fail. You could probably hit every single one of them wrong. That's just sort of the ramp up to starting.
If I ever were to lose you, I surely lose myself. Everything I have found here, I'm not found by myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed to make this man of me. All my stolen missing parts, I've no need for any more. 'Cause I believe, and I believe as I can see our future days, days of you and me.
It's a very short song.
There you go.
Well, that didn't suck.
I'll take what I can get.
The characters are just really incredible. You can sort of see realish type people in their attitudes and the way they act toward each other.
No, I don't know the first thing
I
about
promise
this.
that I teach you how to play.
You did.
So what do you say, tomorrow night, first lesson?
Deal.
Maybe they just have a hard time acting around each other when they're not in a horrible apocalyptic situation as they were in the first
Do you
game.
remember the joke?
What is the downside to eating a clock? It's time consuming.
Ah, time consuming.
That's so dumb.
She loves it though.
Yeah.
If you remember in the first game, she had a joke book, and you could find all of the jokes, all of the time she would read the jokes to him was part of your achievements you could get in the game if you found all of the times that she wanted to tell him some jokes. And they were all dumb. They were a kid's joke book. She's grown beyond that now. But she wanted to hear it. So there's your opening. Playing through this the first time. Very sweet to see them again. And I did play the first Last of Us right before I knew this was coming out.
Shit.
So this is really our first jump ahead in time. I think we were very close to the end of the last game before.
Hey.
Morning.
Sorry,
And now we're
I
4 years later and
totally
she's
overslept.
18.
Just give me a minute and I'll get dressed.
I heard you had quite a night after I left.
She kissed me. It was just Dina being Dina. She didn't mean anything by it.
I was talking about your fight with Seth. Wait, you kissed Dina?
I thought this.
We're broken up 1 week and you make a move on
Look
my
at her face.
No. She was probably just trying to make you jealous. I would never. Fuck this.
I'm messing with you, man.
Oh.
I don't care. Get dressed.
You're the worst.
It's kind of fucked up you did that.
He's funny.
Stuff together while we're late.
Smells fine.
I would assume he's the same actor the whole time through this, but in his cutscenes, I don't know if you'll notice, but when he was just talking to her at the door, he sounded one way to me, and then when they shut the door, it sounded like a different person. Like a deeper voiced, tough guy type man, after they shut the door. It's a lot of interesting details. You can see a hot plate, water collector, and sink where they can use their own water, which is something they certainly have developed since the first game. Little refrigerator. We know they have generators. We saw Tommy's place in the first game. Savage Starlight poster, which was the comics as one of your achievements in the last game. You could collect these comic books throughout the game. So little throwbacks, little callbacks to the things that you found in the last game. Here's some of the comics on the table. These cards here are a collectible in this game. There are cards you can find throughout the game in the world, and that will sort of serve as your comic books in this game. She collects them. You can collect them throughout. Some of them are in some hard to find places. It's interesting, the bunny that just ran by, it seems like it's a reactive point. When you first go to this window, they must activate the bunny, which is cool. It seems randomized. The bunny comes out and runs away. You might have caught it running off. The last time I played, the bunny was sitting right next to the boat, so I must have gotten to the window and turned it so I could see it before the bunny started moving. Makes it seem like things in real life are happening. Some drawings of horses, of Joel and of Ellie, and then of course the friend at the front door. That's Dina, whom you will meet soon. Pictures. You'll find out that Ellie has grown into quite an artist. She has a little journal that she will take with her. And you will find spots where you could journalize. That is another achievement, to get all of the journal spots.
Sure.
Starts out very quietly, sort of reintroducing you to the game, to the world. There's the little transformer that her friend found in the last game, the little boy who then later ends up infected, and his older brother has to kill him. But it's neat that they included that there. I don't believe there's anything else in her domicile here that I need to pick up.
Is Joel up?
Make sure that you do check the house and look at the things you want to look at before you pick up the
Sucks.
knife, because this is the last time you're going to be here.
Shut up. I was just about to get up. I was.
You got everything?
Yes.
You know, they're supposed to go on
Heads
patrol.
up. You're the talk of the town this morning.
Or whatever.
What?
Let me see if I got this right. You kissed Dina. Triggered Seth to call you a not so nice word.
Yep.
Then Joel decked him.
More of a push.
And then you got mad at Joel. That part confused me.
It was a strange night, man.
You can
It's
walk
outside.
around, look at everything.
Sorry, I missed it.
Sometimes I worry in games that they will put some of the collectibles in some of these follow me parts, where if you follow what the story is telling you to do, through. You want to get to the next part of the story.
Out there. We always are.
So you want to follow this person and go where he is taking you. Luckily, in this part, there are no collectibles. The reason I'm going here now is because I discovered on a playthrough that a lot of the faces on the characters in the town are the same. It's always surprising to me when they put the kind of money and time into this that they have, that they wouldn't put different faces on. You notice this guy. You can see when you go over here that this face is the same face as the guy I just showed you. Same exact guy. You know, if you follow your friend the way they want you to in the story, you would just see people in there sort of in different types of clothing, although sometimes even the clothing is the same. So you wouldn't get this closely to see that it's the same guy. At least to my eye. Go around.
Maria wants a word with you.
Where is she?
Diner.
Is this about Seth?
No clue.
Just
Look
tell
at
her you
people.
never saw me.
Maybe 3 in
Nope.
all.
Where's your
This
fucking
guy you're
music?
going to see several times. They have his face on several people. And once you get to the open area of the town, there are going to be some collectibles that you could miss. Now the good news is, once you complete an area, you can go back and just play that scene over. And if you watch this video or others, or you go through a collectibles guide,
Dina
you can
and I are
go back in
It's
and
just
just play this
watching
part,
everything.
and it will count for your game. And when you find them all, even going scene by scene, you will get the achievement for it. Interesting to notice right away that there are children, that they are playing snowball fights, chasing each other. Right down here is your first collectible. You'll see that little pop-up. You just hit the triangle.
Badass.
Pick it up. Tells you what it is. Seems to be a superhero card collecting game. It was probably one of those games like Magic or a plethora of games that they have out now where you make decks and fight against each other, trying to eliminate each other's decks. You often see some of the same exact posters. Now that also could and would happen in real life. People would maybe make copies of their own handwritten poster and put several copies of it.
Hey, Ellie.
Yeah, I'm standing right here. Sort of a reaction that is evoked if you walk too far away from him. But then when I start walking back toward him, he still does the yell as if you were across the street. Hey! Here's a dog you can interact with.
Hey, old timer. Yeah, get a good scratch.
It's fun, but it's interesting too. It's one of there's that guy's face again. I like to point that out. When the dog goes over here, he no longer interacts. He'll look at you, but you know his head will follow you. But you know, just like any game, you can walk into him. He doesn't seem to care. You can walk into people. They don't seem to care. He doesn't even look. His head just stays forward, which, you know, is sort of a lazy. Again, they might figure that most people are just going to follow and go to the next part of the story. You can watch these kids play a little bit. It's a lot of interesting detail. There are some sound effects, there are some conversations, and in some spots you'll hear people talking about Ellie's little encounter last night, things that happened, bigotry, names she was called. If you walk up to people when they happen to be talking about it, you can hear it. Sometimes no one's saying anything, which again is pretty unusual in terms of. Now that's an interesting... It stops, but it's an interesting chat that happens when you come close because it... You know, they're trying to add some realism to the game where people are going to be having conversations when they are doing things. They were fixing that tire or attempting to. And neat little details of food lines and people living their new type of life. It's probably not that new now. It's been over 20 years, but the idea that they now... Here's this guy again. The guy in the cowboy hat is also a guy that is on several faces. You'll notice when you walk around.
Hey, Jesse.
Oh, hi.
I can't ask people to go out of their way like that.
That's not the cowboy hat guy I was talking about. It's that guy. When you walk into the bar, he's standing right inside the bar doors. I'm about to do that. You'll just see him in several places. This is one of your conversations about last night. See, they were talking about it.
Morning.
They said, shh, here she comes. Stop talking about her. As if you couldn't hear her. But, it's funny. Here's that guy again. Now you might say, oh, he's just the same guy. He came around and walked over here. But he was working over in the greenhouse area. He was in different clothing. And I've seen him 3 other times. Go over here. There's a bit of collectible things you can get. Some parts. Parts are important, just as they were in the first game. They allow you to upgrade your weapons. Here's another collectible over here. Your first letter type thing. And as you know, if you played the first game, there's a whole list, a whole litany of papers to collect, and you won't get the achievement if you don't collect them all. Here is the cowboy hat wearing guy again. Same face. Now I'll go over here. And there he is again. In the back. Maybe they hide him so that you can't see him that well, but you can get pretty close. And you can see it's the same face, the same guy. Might even be in the same clothes this time. Striped shirt, jeans, below his jacket. Yep, same exact outfit even. Here's the striped shirt, jeans, shirt coming out below his jacket. Same face. Very lazy. I love the game, and they put a lot of detail into it, but I do always find it surprising when you see the kind of details that they don't put in to make sure that there are enough different faces.
No.
She's not hungry.
Where's Maria?
In the back.
Here's your guy again, right here inside the door. And again, if you're not looking closely, you might not notice, because you just follow the guy through the crowd and go where you're supposed to go.
Excuse me.
You're not meant to notice. These are just background people. But can you imagine if they filmed Law and Order or something and put me as a background actor in every single part of the town as you walk through? How'd that guy get there again? How'd that guy get there again?
Fine. Seth. Seth, come here.
Hey. Look, last night I was drinking too much.
Sure.
I'm trying to say I'm sorry. Maria tells me that you and Dean are headed out. I made you some sandwiches.
Okay.
Your steak.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah. Well, you be safe out there.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
What you got there?
Bacon sandwiches.
Smells good.
They're yours.
You sure?
It's fine.
Let me walk you out.
Hey.
Bigot sandwiches. There's that other guy's face again. Same guy, same clothing. Here's another collectible over here. Now, if you're someone who cares about this sort of thing, you probably would go around and do the same thing I'm doing. Or maybe you're just someone who cares about the collectibles, but doesn't want to have to spend the time looking around. So if you don't want to do that, you can look at my video and see where all of the collectibles are. What I was saying before about maybe he's a bigot, yes, he certainly reacts in a bigoted manner, and he is apparently offended by their behavior. But at the same time, he does seem apologetic. He does seem like he feels remorse, and maybe he feels guilty about it, and maybe he is that way, grew up that way, and has learned that behavior, and maybe he can't change or doesn't want to change, but maybe he does feel, it seems like Maria sort of put him up to it, but he didn't seem like he was being trite. He did seem very authentic in his apology. Not to say that she has to immediately accept it, or ever has to accept it.
When you go out, I want
Hatred
you to
is
trade off the Tom and Joel.
unacceptable, I believe, in any form.
Where do I meet them?
Bigotry, racism, that sort of thing. So I would probably have the same reaction that she had to him.
I was going to check out the creek trails. I'll need someone else to cover it.
But
Hey, Ellie.
I'm also up for forgiving people if they learn, or if they are remorseful, and if they know that they did something they shouldn't have done. Now, if he's a repeat offender, or if he doesn't really mean it, or if he does it over and over again, there's some more collectibles over here. I guess that's what repeat offender means. On a personal level, if it's happened to you multiple times with the same guy, that sort of thing, you would probably learn not to accept his apology. She does it because Maria's there and because it's happening right then. But she immediately turns around and says, "Bigot sandwiches, you can have them." So she's clearly not willing or ready or able. Sure that this woman is one of the repeat characters too.
Not really.
This is the guy I happen to
Eden's done it a
notice,
bunch.
and the guy with the cowboy hat
them.
face guy. But here he is
I
again.
suppose that.
There's Cowboy Hat Man again. It's just very interesting. I know I'm belaboring the same point. I think it's funny. They put so much time, effort, and detail into this, and those are the things they sort of let go. Here's some more collectibles that you can use. Some more of the detail, paint being done by children, school. This is the school area. If you look inside, you can see children being taught. It's very, very nice. Very cool. Things that a lot of games, and especially years ago, these windows would just be painted on or blocked out because they didn't have the ability to put in that much detail all the time. So they concentrated, just like they are in this game, they concentrate on the mains and what's happening, and they sort of give you a town view where, as I pointed out, you can see a lot of the same faces on a lot of the models that are walking around. But if you weren't really looking that closely, it looks like a very filled-in town that has a lot of activity happening with a lot of people walking around. We now know they're not all different people.
So,
Look, I don't know what's going on with you and Joel.
Maria,
This guy really cares about you. And I'm sure he didn't mean to.
we're fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry to pry. Be safe.
Thanks.
Yo, Dina!
Our first
Simon.
indicator there that something
Give me
is
a
up
minute.
between she and Joel.
We get your girlfriend to the stables, please.
Maria tried to ask about it. Ellie
Hey, Dina.
wasn't about it.
Can I talk to you?
Hey, guys! I'm tapping out. Come on, how long?
Whew. I just want to say sorry for running off last night.
Oh, it's okay. I totally get it. I felt bad.
Why?
Because I started the whole thing, and I shouldn't have kissed you in front of all of those people.
I don't know, you were drunk, it's fine.
Well, still, I don't want you to think.
No, I'm not reading into it or anything. Just...
You know what I love about you? How you let me finish my sentences.
Alright. Well, we should probably get going.
Ow! What the fuck? I'm not even playing! Because you're a chicken?
These kids got to be taught a lesson.
You want to fuck them up?
Shh.
Yeah, I do.
You asked for it. You better run, you little shits. Shit! Get to cover! Go! Go! Ow!
Oh, I already took the first hit.
Hang on that kid. Oh, dang it. Oh, I'm coming for you, Tony. Ah, gotcha.
Oh, hit again.
You, like, for
We're losing. We're losing to the children.
Eat that. I see you. Oh, you like that? Ow! I know where you live, Alex.
It's fairly easy to win this, although I've played it twice, and I did lose one time, and I'm
Oh, you better hide. Oh,
could
fuck
lose
it.
this time.
Fuck yeah. I mean, frick.
That time I just threw it right into the deck there. Oh, I don't know how that hit me.
See you. Ow.
Uh-oh, we're down by one.
So fucking sneaky.
Ow.
Down by two.
Oh, eat snow, you little shit. Come on. Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, that kid came around. We're in bad shape.
You can't get me.
In your face!
Eat snow.
Oh,
Oh, what a shot.
oh, we lost.
Yeah, I can't believe it. No. No. Get her. Help me.
So you can play that until you win, or you can... I'm not really sure how even some of those hit me. I was trying to stay behind the thing, but
All right.
there's no achievement associated with winning or not winning, so it doesn't really
I
matter.
guess I asked for that, huh?
I personally like to be the winners, and the first time I played, I did win fair and square. This time it did not go as well for me. But it's neat because it's an
Jesse
interesting
wants
thing.
us to do the creek trails. He's gonna relieve Joel and Tommy.
Oh, that's nice you assigned us together.
That really is like a mini game that you can play. You sort of have to play it, but if you want to get it over with, you can just get hit 10 times quickly. If you want to win,
Morning.
you might want to move around more than I did. Duck behind some. I was trying to duck behind, but I guess they were coming around and hitting me. They were climbing a lot and going to different areas. I just sort of stood
Thank
there.
you.
Nothing else out here to collect, so you can head right in. Once you're inside, there's some interesting information about their jobs, who's on them, what places they go to. Ellie and Dina doing Elk Creek today. Joel and Tommy doing Teton County. So you can just move on. Take the reins when you're ready to play.
Look who's here.
Thanks. Come on. Hey, Shimmer.
Oh, look who decided to join us.
Yeah.
One for you. And one for you.
It's interesting how dark it seems in this part of
Open it
town,
up!
since this is the
Settle
early
down,
morning
Joe.
hours. Not at night. It's
All
going
right.
to get lighter out, but it was
You all know
lighter,
the
it
drill.
seemed, in the town when I
On
was
your
walking
routes,
through,
mark
pointing
your
out all the
logbooks,
same faces.
clear
to
any
you.
infected you see. You run into anything you can't handle, you come back. Be smart about it. All right. Get going.
I had no preconceived notions about the game when I first played through, other than the expectation that it would have a lot of similarity to the first game as far as how you play it. And it does. Myself and many fans that I talked to were very hopeful that Joel would be the protagonist and a very important part of the game. And of course that Ellie would be there. Then we switch to this little area and we're not sure who these people are. And the first reaction is sort of, who the fuck is this girl? Go back to Ellie. Give me Joel. I want to see Tommy. Even though Tommy wasn't playable in the last game. You'd rather play him than someone else that you never met before. We did start with Ellie, and Joel's around. Well, we started with Joel, actually. Just not a very exciting part, just riding the horse. And then we switch here and we meet these people. She's huge.
What were you dreaming about?
Was I talking?
Same thing I always dream about.
Were you doing your teeth grinding thing?
Where have you been?
Grab your gear. I want to show you something.
What?
Trust me.
Abby is bigger than most men I know. Her name is Abby. Her arms are massive. She's like the Hulk.
Come on. This way.
She's bigger than him. They seem to have something more between them than just being outside in the cold right now.
Sure you don't want to do this when the sun's out? And it's warmer?
No. Can't wait.
And you don't want to just tell me?
Nothing
You
to
need to see it.
collect in this area yet.
What are you doing wandering around out here by yourself?
Press your controller forward and
Been
press the
restless.
X button to vault
Me
over
too.
obstacles. There's a few new moves in this game that didn't exist.
Prettier it's gotten.
In the first game, I
You
don't
wanna keep
know.
going?
Again,
Just drive all the way to Mexico?
I've thought about it.
that's because
See Manny's hometown.
you can go around this way.
See that moving up to his story.
This will be your
No,
first
probably not.
view of the new squeeze through tight places. It's the same as Vault. Press forward and X. There are some areas where you'll have to do that for a longer period of time. I don't know, as I was saying, if it was because they couldn't do it in the first game, or they probably only have
Yes.
so many lines of
Come
code
on.
they can enter, and depending on what the technological achievements were at that time, maybe they couldn't even design things like crouching a certain way or going through certain areas. This is another area where you can make the choice to go around this way. It's interesting that there are already footsteps here. Somebody else did go this way before, recently. It's snowing and it's morning when it has already been
Keep
night,
going
so
like
I'm not
this.
sure
We're gonna
who
be
would
tired
have
from
gone
this
through
trip.
there
It's
if
not
it
that
wasn't him.
far.
Okay, is Mel okay? She seemed out of it these past few days.
She'll be fine.
You stop being weird, you're freaking me out.
I'm not being weird.
You're being weird, dude. Weirdo.
Careful jumping over these.
And we can jump.
Are you breaking up with Mel?
What? No. You wish.
I've had my fill, thank you.
Uh-oh, our first indicator that there's been something to have had her fill of between she and he. That she wishes he was breaking up with this Mel character.
You're gonna have to run to make it.
If you can do it, I can do it.
Ouch.
We can't all be as graceful as you.
Clearly.
What is that?
You'll be fine.
It's too high.
Come on.
Abby is afraid of nothing, except for being high up on places. A lot of great vistas in the game. There's a photo mode. You can take photos of these if you want. My problem with photos is I've never really found a use for them. You could post them on social media, but who really cares about seeing photos of the game that they could play themselves? Anyway, I've taken quite a few because there are a lot of nice things to look at. And I've tried to take some from the angle of her being freaked out. Look at that. I mean, look at the detail on how freaked out she is. But it's difficult to do because,
Hey. Eyes
you know,
on
if
me.
you want to see her face, you can't
Abby.
see what's around her.
Stop looking down.
Your controller shakes. The thing goes out of focus and zooms in a strange way to indicate
Consider it
her
an
fear of
opportunity to
heights,
work
sort
on
of like the Vertigo movie from years and years ago.
My foot up your ass.
Abby. Stop flirting.
They clearly have a very comfortable sort of teasing type relationship. Now, if you didn't go and squeeze through in your playthrough the way I did, this would be the first time that you would be forced to use that squeeze through tight area feature. They've been doing this in games for a long time. It's interesting the way they fog the camera sometimes or put snow on the camera to give it that movie feel, because when they're filming movies, sometimes they either purposefully have something hit the camera or it actually happens when they are filming.
Have you told anyone else?
I wanted you to see it first. Saw an armed patrol go from town to an outpost over there. A few more outposts in between. They have electricity, guns. It's a lot of people.
We can figure it out.
Okay. Assuming he's in there, how do we get to him?
We can corner one of the patrols and get confirmation, and then, I don't know, maybe find a way to lure him out.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure they'll be happy to offer that information up.
Well, then we make them.
You hear yourself?
Okay, what do you want to do? What is going on with you?
Mel's pregnant.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh. Okay.
It's not just that, though.
Should I say congrats?
When everyone else sees this, they're gonna want to turn back.
We can convince him, right? I fucking knew I couldn't count on you.
Abby, I want what you want. But not at any cost. Hey,
Don't.
see you back at the lodge.
It's very interesting to me how quickly you can become emotionally affected by two characters you don't even know, just based on the animation of this cutscene. You could tell how surprised, shocked, and saddened she was to hear that Mel was pregnant. It's personal to her. It was hurtful to hear, and you could see it on her face, and she gets teary. which in turn makes you feel an emotional connection. Some people to a lesser degree than others.
I'll do the whole thing on my own.
This is where you take back control of Abby, and if you go over to the side when you're high, you'll notice she starts breathing very heavily. The camera sort of goes wonky. It's an interesting thing that they do. You can go prone here, or you can climb over this way. Now, there will be some areas where you are forced to move forward by sliding down something or falling, which are just automated happenstances once you walk into the area where that said thing is going to happen. So if you're in an area and you feel like you want to more thoroughly explore it before you move forward, try to pay attention to your surroundings, because sometimes you will reach a spot where they force you to move forward and you can't go back to something that you thought you wanted to more thoroughly explore and didn't. You do have to time it to the point where you're about to walk off the edge before you hit jump, or you won't make it. Here is the first time it tells you to go prone, because you can't climb over because the branches stick up, so you have to go underneath here. And here's going to be our first time where we see the inability to go back where you came. Up to this point, I could go back under there and explore many of the areas that I have already been to, but as there is nothing in those areas, there's no need to do that. But here, you will slide, and you will be unable to go back. If you try to go back, you'll slide back down.
You got Mel pregnant.
She's upset about that. Now, you are in an area where you must proceed forward and cannot go back the way you came, which is fine, because you're playing the game anyway. Nobody wants to keep going back over areas they've already been in. And some people, a lot of times, just want to go forward. She sees some infected ahead. And that's why a lot of times people miss collectibles or miss achievements. And some people don't care about those. And if you don't care about those at all, then you can just move about the game and play it. From a story perspective, oftentimes ignoring all the collectibles or things you can look at, journaling, that sort of thing, takes away from the excitement of just playing the game and seeing what's going to happen. You know, generally, if you were, you know, she's out here in this wilderness, she wants to survive, she's trying to go to the city that she was just shown, she probably wouldn't take all this time to go wandering around out here where she could be in danger to go look for collectibles. But gamers do, because gamers know that there are collectibles, but it does take away from the story wandering around searching for things to collect. So it's probably better to just play the game through from a story standpoint rather than play it to collect things. But if this is your second time playing through, or you haven't found all the collectibles, or you're not going to play and you just want to see someone else play, then all of these things make this a possible video that will be useful to you. Lots of infected. We're in an area where it seems she and her friends have not yet been, because she is surprised to see so many dead bodies. You can't really tell, or at least I can't, that these are necessarily infected. They could have been people that came through. This is one of the areas I was talking about where you have to proceed in this manner for a longer period of time.
Oh, shit.
On some games, that would have been a jump scare. As she came around the corner, there would have been a loud bit of music, and then it would have revealed to you what was there. Maybe that would have been more effective. I'm surprised they didn't do it there. But there are quite a few jump scares later on. Oops. That's a bit of a scare. This is where you first notice in the game that the infected seem to be a bit different, a bit scarier, a bit more capable of doing harm to you. They're very fast. Fight them. You can dodge them. Wasn't something that I remember being in the last game. There's more coming. You want to be aware that after you hit them a few times, when they stumble backward, they're going to come back at you with a swing. So if you keep punching, you will get hit. Luckily, this is a video game, so you can get hit many times before you would be overtaken. In the right corner, you will see my health bar. Right now I have quite a bit, so it would take, I think it's 2 or 3 hits per line of those health bars. But you can successfully fight these guys by dodging and not getting hit. As you saw, once they stumble backwards, they're going to come back at you with a swing.
My shoulder.
Another interesting spot where there's some blood on the camera. Now, I didn't get hit at all this time. The first time I played, I did take some damage. They tell you here to use the health kit. If you were playing the game at this point, you probably wouldn't need the health kit. I usually wait until I'm a little further down. Health kits at this stage of the game are worth a bit less, but I believe they fill 2.5 or 2 of the full bars. So using the health kit now, when I only had 1 down, is a bit of a waste of that health kit. You'll also notice that when you're fighting, there is a bit of exciting, scary fight music. You'll hear some growling from the infected from a distance. The music will be very tense. When a certain area is cleared of the infected or the threat, you'll notice that the music dies down and that the main character will, the character that you're playing will usually say something like, "Is that it?" Or "I think that's all of them," or "That's all," or "Jesus," or "Christ," or they'll say something, and you'll notice that you're back to the calm, quiet time in the music. There are some areas you can go into where, just like here, you'll get a notification that there's a hint that you can take. You hit the L3. You will be given said hint. I know already that you climb these baskets and go in through the window. Just like in the original game, R3 toggles on your flashlight. And you'll find out in a moment that the infected do not react to your flashlight, which is interesting because I still find myself often turning it off. It just feels more realistic that if I entered a dark room and I didn't want to alert who was in there, I wouldn't have my flashlight on. Now, this is particularly useful when you are entering an area with living enemies, regular, normal enemies, people, because they can see your flashlight and can see your movement. Some
How do I get out of here?
ammo to pick up here. Nothing else in the room. After you pick up the ammo, you can press R2 to reload. You'll notice I had much less ammo than I had less health earlier when it told me to take the health kit. I did it because it said it. Here, you reloading are not using something you don't need because your gun is still not full. This is one of those areas where you're forced to go prone, and even the character you're playing will tell you that it's a scary time. Now, probably that shouldn't have died. I wanted to hit him in the head because, but maybe he was already injured. Generally, if you hit them in the head with one shot, they will die, or if you hit them multiple times in the body or in other areas, they will die. I wanted to hit him in the head because I was in a much more confined area, and I didn't want him to keep coming at me. But it's programmed to die after one shot, regardless of where you hit him, even though he probably wouldn't under other circumstances. Yes, you could say that he was already injured. Once you go down, you can't come back up, so you want to make sure you go into this building for a number of collectibles. There are bullets. There's a letter. Seems to be old. It seems to be Seth, possibly, from the town whom we met, who was the bigot. I'm not sure why they would use the same name. If it isn't Seth, they could have just made it Robert or Bill. You know, somebody that you wouldn't immediately say, 5 minutes ago I had an encounter with someone named Seth who was a bit of a dick, or maybe was a dick, or maybe feels bad about what he said, or maybe doesn't, or maybe I'm going to forgive, or maybe I'm not. And now here's some cabin in the woods that a person named Seth escaped from or is no longer here. You don't find any dead bodies. You have a health kit. So it seems to indicate that Seth, whatever Seth was in this building, was either able to get out or left a long time ago and died somewhere else, unless it is the same Seth from Tommy's town, which I believe it is. This is the same room that I was just in. So if you walk through here, you'll notice that there's nothing else to find except what I already showed you. And you can move on. Once you go down here, you can't go back again.
It's gotta be
So
close.
before you do that, you want to collect the things that were in that cabin, Seth's cabin. You can go in through here. This is where it will tell you that you can listen by holding R1, which was a staple in the first game. And it will tell you how to sneak up on them. You can press triangle as long as you don't notify them of your presence. You can do the same with people enemies. They tend to be more alert more often. So if you are going to sneak up on them, you want to make sure you know their pattern, you know the way they're going to move, and you know whether or not they're going to come back your way before you do it. Infected also often move. This one is a stationary one. You'll remember from the first game that they sometimes move. Now, Abby is so strong that with her giant arms, she just breaks the neck of the creatures. You'll remember in the last game, you could stab them with your knife. That'll be Ellie's stealth kill. I don't believe she has the muscly arm that Abby has to just sort of break their neck. Joel, in the first game, would also take human enemies and sort of strangle them until they passed out and or died. Since they never woke up again, I assume they were dead. There were people that I personally felt badly about killing that I said, well, we could just silence this guy or knock him out. Here's another quiet infected, but he moves around. As I was talking about before, some of them go on patrol. He's not really on patrol story-wise. He's just a confused, infected person who doesn't know where he is or what's happening. And he sort of just stands around. Then he waits. Then he stumbles around again. Then he stops in his spot, and then you can grab him. Stealth kill is the square. Abby uses her arm. Just breaks their neck. Now, when you kill that guy, it starts another random encounter of another one that then walks into view. If you want to get him stealthily, you have to move back out of camera and listen so that you can find him. He's going to be around the back of this wall. I'll walk around, and he's going to do the same thing again. He'll stop, look at the room, sort of be racked with pain, and then you can walk over and grab him. And you can silently, somewhat silently, break his neck. Now there's some other things in the room. That is how you do it. Some ammo. There are some health bars if you need them. These bothers me a little bit because I feel like you should be able to carry them in your pack, but you can only carry and craft health packs. You can't carry the bars. The bars are immediate fills. So if you had been damaged, which I have not been, you would take the bar, and I think it fills a quarter of one of those bars or a half of one of those bars. Make sure that you check the bodies of any human or infected, because you will find ammo and sometimes other important items on them, letters, collectibles. Search the area, and then you can go on your way. There's some ammo you want to make sure you collect, especially depending on the difficulty level you're playing. I'm on hard plus right now. Plus means if you have completed the game, you will get a plus status, which allows you to keep your weapons at the level that you got them to at the end of the first playthrough. It also tells you that if you play on plus, it's harder than the actual level would be. So if you're playing hard, you're playing hard. If you're playing hard plus, it's a little bit harder than regular hard because you do have more of your weapons and more of your upgrades than you would normally have if you were just playing fresh. Out here you will find another grouping, so you're going to want to be careful here if you want to kill them stealthily. You can also let him see you, and depending on your skill level, you might have the ability to take them out. You'll notice that when one does see you, or when one is coming close to being able to see you, you will hear a bit of rumbling, which is your warning to move back under cover if, in fact, that's what you want to do. You only need to hit the stealth kill button once, although it has failed on me numerous times. I think it's a timing thing, so sometimes I just spam the button until I make sure I know the person or infected is dead. So if you move into view when they're looking, you'll hear, see, for a second there was a bit of a, it gets louder. There it was again. She was looking in this direction. There it is again. I'm backing away and it'll stop. So it gives you enough time when they're that far away to where you can move out of sight line. This guy you can get rid of because you know now, having watched her patrol, that you have enough time that she won't see you. Grab the ammo, and you can wait and listen. You won't see them light up until they're close enough. That one over there is too far away. This one here is going to be the one that comes and looks through. And you can wait for her, or you can just go right up and take your chances. I'm going to wait until she comes back into view and then turns back around. Sometimes they make funny noises. And it's meant to be anguish, torment, probably pain, being trapped inside this decrepit body. Although when they see you, they don't seem so decrepit, because they can move pretty fast. Go get her. The other thing that characters tend to do when they are using stealth kill, grab the ammo, is that they get smaller and sort of back away automatically. But you can also try to back away more emphatically by using the controller yourself, too. This guy sort of comes back and forth. You can wait for him, or you can allow him to see you, because he's the last one on this side of the screen. Now, a lot of times, if you allow one to see you and there are others in the area, it will alert all of them. Because the infected screams when it's about to attack you once it realizes you're there. And it alerts all the other ones in the area to the fact that you're there. And that will make it very difficult for you, because if there are 5 or 6 or 10, they will all come toward you, and then you'll have to fight them all. I have a much better time using stealth kill. I find it fun. And I much enjoy killing people in the game more than infected. Infected can't help it. People are assholes, and it's fun to kill them. In the game. You can go through over there, or you can go through here. Both ways come out to the same area. There's nothing more in this area, so you can move on. We'll see under the truck leads here, under the other truck leads here as well. Now you go up here, and you have to use the squeeze through function that's new to this game.
Horse tracks.
Patrol. And they interestingly switch back to the patrol when she says, "But where's the patrol?" It's an interesting cinematic way that they do things. Then we switch back to the patrol, who is Ellie and Dina, whom we just left not too long ago.
Do you miss being with him?
With Jesse? No.
We've been together for so long.
Look, Jesse's great. I love his parents. They will always be family, but we were just on autopilot.
Hey, how come we never talked about this stuff?
I don't know. It didn't feel... You never really talked to me about Kat.
Yeah, 'cause there isn't much to talk about.
Yow.
I got the impression that you didn't really like her.
I don't care about her one way or the other.
Okay.
No, I think she's a talented artist. I've grown to like that tattoo of yours.
Well, that's so big of you.
And I think she wasn't
I was
right for you.
thinking when she said it. Like, oh, thanks. Good
Shut
for
up.
you. You like something about my
Hey.
tattoo. So this is the girl who kissed Ellie and then caused her to be called some sort of bigoted type name. Gotta run and jump over this. It's fun to ride the horses. I feel like I'm in Red Dead Redemption, which is also a good game. If you haven't played it. Red Dead 2, excellent.
Hey,
You want to see something spectacular?
you're gonna point at your face, aren't you?
Nothing is that spectacular.
Oh, brother.
Come on, stupid.
She's going to ask you to follow her, which you could do, and you will. But first, you're going to want to go into this room, because there are some things in here that you can collect. You're not going to want to miss out on them, because ingredients are found in places all over. But especially depending on the difficulty level you are playing, less ingredients, less weapons, less ammo is going to be found, and probably less than you're going to wish you had. I often like to do the stealth thing, but sometimes you can't help it. You're overwhelmed, you don't have it under control, and they're all coming after you. So for that reason, you want to make sure you have enough of what you need. There's one of those optional talkie things. That, I don't believe, is an achievement in this game. It was in the last.
What do you think of this view, huh?
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, this route has its perks.
Where do we sign in?
Come on.
You could look as long as you want. I spent some time, I took some pictures trying to get a nice shot of Ellie. Problem is, again, when she's looking out that way, all you're getting is a picture of the view. So I tried to turn her around and get some decent shots of her looking in this direction. So you got to then turn the camera around. You got to try to. You'll notice here is this. This is one of the missables for journal entries. It's a collection thing. If you get all the journal entries, you'll get an achievement. This is more talking about, being with Dina. That entry will actually be in there regardless of what you do. And then there's an extra entry about the tree, maybe a poem that she wrote, or a little. The other interesting thing about this game is many of the mirrors and reflective surfaces actually throw a reflection. If you play Last of Us, the first game, there are no reflections in any of the mirrors. And part of that is certainly got to be because it just takes too long to render, it takes too much power, and it was too difficult with the graphic ability that they had at the time. Now, some of the mirrors are broken. Again, still for the same reason, I'm sure. It's difficult to render that. It takes more power, it takes more memory. And in production, it takes more time to actually sit there and make sure that every surface is rendered properly to the reverse of what it is for a mirrored image. Another cool addition to this game is ropes. You can climb ropes. It's not really any different than climbing a ladder. You just press the X and then you push up to climb. Not that I have anybody watching live, but if I did, don't watch me when I'm sneezing. It's no different than anybody else sneezing. You're not going to see anything new.
What was this place?
There used to be a radio tower.
You're going to want to sign in here. That's your mission in this room, which is somewhere over there. But you can also go into this room and find some collectibles that you're not going to want to miss out on. Some things you can see.
Hey, I'm gonna guess this bong was Eugene's.
That's mine. He gave it to me.
Hey, do you have any on you, actually?
Oh, I wish. Eugene always had some on him.
Parts. We haven't come to a workbench yet, but just like in the first game, there are workbenches where you can upgrade your weapons. And when you find them, it will be helpful to you if you have some parts that you can upgrade your weapons with. You'll find in some locations there are a lot of drawers you can open. Some of them will contain items like that one. Some will be empty. But don't think that you shouldn't open them because they maybe just put the drawers there for the hell of it and there's nothing in them, because a lot of the drawers do have something in them. Here's the book you have to sign. When you sign it, you will see that Joel and Tommy are in here. Dina and Eugene are in several places. It's interesting that you don't see Ellie's name anywhere. I can't remember if they said anywhere in the, I believe it's in the dialogue somewhere that they have decided to allow her to go out with someone at this point. And maybe she hasn't been on any patrols yet.
Town up ahead's our last stop. Take a look.
There's a ski lodge. That's the one on Tommy and Joel's route.
That's the one.
And that is the ski lodge where Abby was.
Strip mall?
Oh, with the supermarket? No, town's past that.
There's the town. With the big tower thing?
Yep, that's where the next lookout is.
Look around in here.
Let's get back to the horses. Question. Were you wearing those same clothes yesterday?
They're clean.
No judgment.
It's patrol, you know. We're here to kill infected, not to look fancy.
Still look nice.
Thank you.
One of those things like, well, again, thank you, but I didn't ask for your approval on what I looked like while going on patrol. Again, we just leave. Go back to what we were doing.
Come on.
I look shiny. Jump over this little... They put these horses through a lot of big leaps and things. I don't know. Normally, horses...
I think we should go out like Eugene.
From a stroke?
No. From old age. Like, living a long life.
You? No way. Come on. You're way too reckless.
Oh, look who's talking.
Well, you'll probably die from hypothermia from wearing canvas sneakers in the snow.
I am wearing boots today. You know how you're gonna die?
Dude, let me guess. You're gonna kill me? Did I ruin your punchline?
No.
Ruined my joke.
Fuck you.
No, maybe. Fuck you. Awesome. I love Ellie. I really do. I'm gonna miss her when this game's over.
Hey, should we check these houses out?
Seems quiet, but we can if you want. I bet they still got supplies.
I want. So you're gonna want to go and check all these houses. The way I normally do it, to make sure I don't miss anything, is I
What do you
start
know about this place?
on one side,
Just another.
and I go all the way back up the other side once I get down.
Infected almost never make it out this far. We usually catch them on the outer perimeter.
Make sure you climb up here.
What are you doing tonight?
There's stuff up here.
I was thinking of inviting Joel to watch a movie.
Oh. You guys
right?
Those are pills.
Yeah.
As it says, supplements allow you to
What do you
learn
guys
the new
want?
skills. You take
What's
those.
Joel
And
into? Curtis and Viper 2. That's the one that's been on my radar for a while. Oh, wow.
this is one of the drawers
So
that
much
has
these
nothing in it.
cheesy 80s action
Don't let it
movies.
convince you not to open
These
other
are
ones,
really
because
Oh.
sometimes in drawers you will find things.
I actually really like them too.
Sometimes they are very sad letters.
Poor kid.
Probably never got his puppy, I would guess.
What about you? What are you doing later?
Some people were talking about sneaking out, going sledding.
Oh, sounds fun.
Yeah. You want to meet
It's
up
just going to
after?
be the way back out if you didn't want to go the way you came.
Maybe I'll play guitar for you.
Okay. What's Curtis and Viper 2 about?
Okay, so 2 former commandos that go rogue to fight bad guys. And I think in this one, they go up against Russian spies or something.
I'm more interested in this than I thought I would be.
Alright, so the young one, Viper, he's a trained ninja. And he's a complete badass.
So how old is he in the first movie?
10.
Wait, how many movies did they make of this?
I think they made 4?
Jeez.
Joel actually saw the last one in the theater. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
It's like
You think
real
anybody
world.
out there is still making movies?
Has to be.
How do you know? I mean, what if they're all just like us?
I don't know. I was making a
Just
supposition.
surviving day to day.
It's possible. There has to be
I
someone
write
out
new
there.
music, so someone had a camera.
Wait, hold up. There are original Ellie songs? Why haven't you played any for me?
Well,
Because I wanted to shine my light in your face instead.
Come on. Will you play one for me? Tonight?
I'll think about it.
Sometimes you have to stand around and make sure you get through some of these conversations if you want to hear them. You could just rush through and grab everything, which is why I'm making this video. Because it will show you where everything is, and you can just run around and grab everything that you want to grab, and you can hear the story if you want to, or not hear the story. You can also hear the story in my game, and then not have to worry about hearing it in yours, and you can run through this. I'm sure that there are clubs and groups where getting through this as fast as you possibly can is some kind of an achievement that you'll get an award for. Not that I'm going to be a part of helping you do that. I'm sure you've already figured that out if you're someone who's doing that, but I welcome you to use it if it'll help. That usually indicates if another character tells you we should move on, or we should go, that you're going the wrong way, or that you are leaving an area where there's nothing else to find. But I was way down the street, which is the way we're going to go on the horse. Over here, there is some more searching you can do and some more things you will find. These houses are all covered with snow and broken down in such a way that they are blocked. You will see that there's nothing else on this side of the street. However, there is this little trailer, and you can get inside by using the little slip through a small area feature. There's some items you're going to find in here, some supplements, some collectibles, parts that you're going to want to keep and use later. So you don't want to miss this area. The story sort of pushes you to keep going, although Ellie does say maybe we should stop and search these houses. You don't have to, and you're not going to miss out on anything story-wise if you do move on without searching. But you won't get all the achievements. I was disappointed to see you couldn't go in here, because it appears that there's an opening, and there's definitely an opening, and it makes you feel like, oh, maybe there'll be something in here. Wait a minute, there is. So you go in, you want to make sure you don't miss out on anything, and had I not tried that again, I would have missed out. Here is a collectible card. Actually wasn't here before, now that I see what card it is. You really do have to search everywhere in order to find some of these collectibles where you have to get every one in order to make, in order to get one reward. That's it. I lied before, but now we are finished. Now we can truly move on because there's nothing else to search here. I spent a lot of time trying to climb up on things, this card, and maybe go over the wall you can't reach. So don't bother. But feel free to explore. You should certainly play your own game. But if you're just looking for the collectibles and the things you can find, all you need to do is what I've just done. Once you jump over, you're done in that area.
Easy.
Horses go a little nuts because, there's this, which is beautiful to look at.
What the fuck? That smell. Looks like infected did this.
How many do you think it would take to bring down a moose?
More than one. Where the hell are they?
Let's go find them.
My guess would be in this building right here. Telling me to equip the long gun. I generally don't use that because you can press R1, it'll quickly swap between your two weapons. Later on, you're going to get a lot more weapons. But in theory, it should switch you between all of your weapons.
Got more blood.
If you do the listen thing here, you'll see that there are beings inside.
Inside.
Sounds like
How the fuck
infected.
did they get in there?
Nothing else out here. We can move inside.
One at a time.
Dina, this way.
I want to be somewhat quiet. One, you can listen to make sure there's no one else around. And you can go up and grab it. Ellie does her knife stealth kill as usual. We talked about it before. She doesn't have any arms
It's down.
to take these guys out.
Done.
Alright, so we've taken
Now
away
call
my
for
shiny. Wow!
Let's see if we can get around to the back of the supermarket.
Hallelujah.
As we were warned before, not warned, told, the light doesn't affect the infected, so they won't see it, and they won't react to it. Like I said, I always still feel like I need to turn it off, but there are two doors. This one's going to be blocked, but you can go through this way. But then it tells you locked doors can usually be opened from the other side. So you're going to want to go out here. Though this doesn't forward the story, there are some collectibles in this room. When I first played through, I didn't get it. There's some bullets here on this cart. You don't see them now because I already picked them up. But they're there, and then there are some supplements. So you want to go in through there, and then you can open it and go back out. And then, of course, where you're going to want to go is through here. When you stun them like that and then attack them, they die pretty quickly. I've always been surprised at the amount of noise they're willing to make when there's a door jammed. I mean, I guess you have to smash through, but it does seem you want to collect the parts that are there. There's a drawer here with some ammo in it, or something down the line here, right here. Oh, it's more parts. You want to make sure you grab them. The way out, of course, is going to be up through this window. Just make sure you collect all the goodies I showed you. We'll attack these together. If you were alone, there'd be a chance that that one could turn around. But since you're not alone, you have a partner that helps take them out. Now, if you listen, you'll see there's another one over that side. If you're quiet, you can take him out. There's another one in there, so you're going to want to wait till he turns around. Then you can grab this one from behind. Slowly take him out. Stay ducked down. She wanted to check what was on the other side of this truck. And we will, but first we're going to clear this area because there's a lot to be found in here. Go inside. Again, you want to be careful so that they don't all rush you at once. There was no particular reason to come in here. You could, just to be a completist. I like killing all of the guys, but interesting. There's nothing in there except a battle. So now you can help each other up. When it's this high and you have a partner with you, they will help you to climb up. And you can do that by pressing the triangle. And then they'll pull you up with them. Nothing else up here, so you want to drop down. You're going to go underneath this truck and climb up on the other side. No other reason to be over here. Just gotta go prone. All under. Head across. Nope. Jump! Yikes. I've played this before. Don't shoot him. Oh, she shot him. Might have been a girl, but it's alright. We talked about old age before. That's the way she wants to go. I can't blame her. Sometimes, even when you've played the game before, there will still be jump scares. And a lot of times when you're in a tight space like that, you'll find yourself sort of knowing that something's going to happen. And even though you know something's going to happen, you'll still jump when it does. Because that's what I did, and I kind of knew something was going to happen. You want to go in here. There's some collectibles in here. That's funny. You got to squeeze through. A little letter. Terrible time, which again goes to the idea of me telling you that humans are oftentimes going to be worse than monsters you come across. Now, some monsters will kill you, but humans will steal from you, kill you, rape you, pillage, do everything they can possibly do to better their condition and worsen yours. That being said, some people will try to help you. Joel, oftentimes.
checks.
Always check all the drawers and places. Check tables, check behind things. Under this cabinet, you'll find something else.
That's alcohol. Very nice. That's receiving.
And once you do, she will tell you to use your backpack and show you that you can then make a health kit with the collection you have gathered. And we're going to move this cart. Ha ha ha! Those in the know that Ellie doesn't need a mask, but she must be wearing one for Dina's benefit, because everyone has sort of kept a secret. Because probably, if people found out that Joel protected this girl and stole her from possibly finding a cure, not everyone would react the same way that Tommy did. Tommy, being Joel's brother, could understand, but a lot of people wouldn't. Some stuff back here, some stuff over here. When you're running around, just make sure if you care about this stuff, if you want to collect everything you can use your light so you can see better. The calendar says 2013, which was when the first game came out, but I believe it was 20 years later when Joel met up with Ellie, so we're in at least 2036 or so, based on the fact that she said she went on a patrol with Joel a year ago. It's 4 years later, and it was 20 years after Joel's daughter died. So if you add that up, I'm not going to do the math for you now because I'm not very good at math. But if you add that up, that is what you will discover. I don't think this was meant to be a future game, but it seems like it is. Well, this Employee of the Month board is going to be important in a minute. You're going to need My Good Boy's date, because you're going to find a letter that opens this safe, which I can't do yet because I did not look at it yet. This tells you combo is the date My Good Boy got Employee of the Month. Take the stuff out of the drawers. This is hard plus level, so it's possible some of those drawers, if you're playing on easy or on regular, moderate, or hard, July 2013, so it'll be 072013. So you're going to want to check them, even if you see on this video that my drawer didn't have something. Because resources are more limited depending on the difficulty level you are playing. So said drawer might have something in it in one difficulty level that it does not have in another. So you're going to make sure that you check everything. Then you're going to move out here. If you've cleared the room, you're going to want to check everywhere. Make sure you find everything that's laying around. Some stuff in here. There are some things in here. They are health bars that will give you Now, a lot of times you're going to want to try and make sure you're not breaking open things if there are still infected around. Spoiler, spoiler, once you go through here, our first look at a clicker that is an incredible look at just the graphic capability of this game, because it just looked so good to see that so close. So what you want to do is walk very quietly behind this one. It can hear, but it can't see. So by pushing the stick lightly, you can walk slowly. And then you can sneak around and take it out. The other one is over there, and it's trapped behind the counter. So it's going to have to go all the way against the wall if it was going to track you that way, and it can't come out. So if you're here in time, you can actually go right around, and when it's finished its little scream right here, you could go in and get it. Otherwise, you can wait until it moves back out here, and then it's probably gonna turn around again. Spores are a great effect. The clickers look great. Once it starts walking, if you're slow, you can walk up and get him. Damn it.
Why motherfuckers make my skin crawl? Let's make sure they're no slippery against clothing. Get the fuck out of here.
So you can attempt that. As I said, he was the last one in here. So once you kill that first one, if you want to slowly take him out or try your luck at stealthily getting him, you can try that, or you can go ahead and shoot him. You can go ahead and make your way over to Dina, who is strengthily holding up this cabinet on her own. Lift with your knees. I don't want to hurt your back. Flu shots, least of their worries. What a great time to have a game about a horrible outbreak that destroys all of humanity. It's kind of apt. Feels a lot more personal because we're sort of in kind of a horrible type situation. We don't have thousands of infected running around killing everyone, but close enough, I guess. There's some other stuff. You're going to want to make sure you get off these counters. Sometimes you will find that things that you think you've already gotten, you walk by and something else flashes that's on your screen. So just make sure you're thorough. Sometimes go back over a place a second time just to make sure you didn't skim over something. Sometimes the game is a little glitchy in that you're walking by and it doesn't come up for you. So you're going to want to look closely. Walk slowly. Take out the runners. Because once a runner sees you, he will scream and he will alert all of the others. Right now, there's no clickers near you. But if you alert one of these runners, they will scream, and then the clickers will be all over you. There is also a runner in the other room where if you alert one of these, he will scream, the two clickers will then be after you, even though it doesn't make a lot of logical sense since the clickers aren't supposed to be able to see. They just go toward the noise, but somehow they're pretty much able to find you immediately once they go insane. So you want to make sure that one of these runners doesn't scream. See where the clicker is. Stumbling around that way. You can walk slowly. Try not to move when it's alerted. Right now it's back there and it's that one's over there, that one's over there, so you should be safe here. This one's going to walk around. If you don't make any noise, it doesn't come around this side. You should be able to wait for it to come around and then go slowly to get it. Does that, you can take it out. Didn't seem like a safe place to be, but apparently it was, so you can try that strategy if you like. Now you only have one left. There is another runner in the room through where that clock is. So you're going to want to still try and be quiet if you can. I like how you can see the breath from the extreme cold, even though we're indoors. Obviously, there's no more heat. A lot of the windows are broken. There's holes in the ceilings. And they are living creatures, even though it's sort of easy to get the idea that these are zombies. A lot of people that I have talked about with this game to, they have often referred to them as zombies. And they're actually people. They're just well beyond saving. They haven't risen from the grave. They've just been infected by these plant spores that are deadly. If you keep it slow, they generally can't hear or see you. So you have to be very, very gentle on the joystick. If you move too quickly, they will definitely see you. And once any one of these creatures screams, they will alert the others to your presence. And that is how you clear the supermarket. It is pretty impressive, although she said she killed 20. We killed like 5 just now. Take a fucking break. You. How dare you say that to me? Break this now because there's nothing around that can hear it. Once they both sort of make it clear that the rooms are cleared and that they're impressed with each other and that they did a good job, you can break any cabinets that you see that have something in them. I think that's the only one. And other than what I picked up during the battles, that appears to be all that's in this room. That being said, you can go into the other room where the hidden where the hidden infected was, and there's some alcohol that you definitely don't want to leave behind. And there's a rag, part of a cloth. You need several of those to make one cloth, but and then that's it. And you're going to want to go and open this door over here. It's going to be locked. Yes, with my super strength. We're going to pull this rope. So it's not that difficult to figure out. You grab the rope, and you're going to want to throw it over this other one so that you can then hold it while you climb up. It's under that thing. So she's going to climb, then you're going to climb. Easy peasy. Hold L and you will climb more quickly. This thing doesn't seem rickety at all. Perfectly safe. We should climb that kind of a thing more often. Now, you might wish or hope or think that there will be things on this roof, but you can't get anywhere, so it's time to just go back down. You will slide down and you're back at your horses. It's getting stormy.
Look out. Just past the next town. Following you.
Time to go. If we do so, you don't want to get lost out in the whiteout, so just stick on your partner and everything will be fine. Don't worry. Enjoy the blizzard, the excellent rendering of said blizzard, the different broken down vehicles that are in the blizzard, the beautiful ice effects, broken down shacks and buildings. Follow her tracks and everything will be fine. You can't possibly lose track of someone as long as you stay with them and on them. I like that she put up a hood. I didn't even notice it. But there are a lot of fine details that you end up seeing that they have really put into this game, which still I go back to the confoundment that I felt seeing the same face on guys in the town, because they did make such a concerted effort with the clothing here and the hood and the effects. Don't worry, you just wander around for a little bit and then she will start screaming for you and you'll find her. It's just a little scare they put into you. I expected something to happen. Technically, nothing really happened because it was just a little added drama. Because everyone's safe, no one died, and you didn't have to fight anything. Everyone's inside now. Look how safe we are. Beautiful world. Look how determined she is. Dun dun. You could look around if you'd like, but there are no collectibles to be found. So, what you're going to want to do is go into the copy center, which will be locked. Because you have the ability to throw something or break something with your bullet, you can throw one of these bricks. You'll notice they have a lot of bottles laying around. So once you throw your bottle or your brick, you can pick up another one. And you can, then you'll make sure that you'll have another. That door is locked. So to get into it, you need to break this window and go through. Some things to collect in here. Bunch of parts. He doesn't like you, Dina. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to hide it as a surprise. You don't know. You don't know. Alright, then you can go in. Finds a little firefly pendant. You'll notice that there's a little wire. That'll be pretty important soon. Here's one of the cards. This little room. Little Lex Luthorich. And of course, super villain, as villainish as it can be. Some more of the details. Another PlayStation 3, an Uncharted 2 game. It's like, what is it, Jack and Dexter or something like that. I never played that one myself, but I do recognize the characters. Some more stuff you don't want to miss in here. Pretty ugly babies. Is that what babies look like? Alright. Probably haven't seen a lot of babies in the apocalypse. Another collectible in the drawer. Looks like a different guy on that picture. Looks like a fat guy. I guess he lost some weight once he became a soldiery type. Here is your first workbench. Find that a generator will attract all of the infected in the area, but there are no infected here. Let's do it. You'll see that I have all of the upgrades for this particular weapon because I am playing on Plus. But you will want to upgrade your weapons as you move along. Right now I have 113 parts. You should have the same amount. Well, you might have more depending on the level you're playing on. I only have 2 weapons at the moment, as will you. And you will be able to upgrade some. I cannot because both of mine are already completely upgraded. But I have some other ones that we will find later in the game that haven't been completely upgraded. When we came in, we couldn't see this because the lights weren't on. Now that they are, we can. Alright. So let's find a way in somewhere. More lit up floor over here. Here's a little journal spot. Right by this giraffe on your way out the door. If you want to look at it. Little secret entrance. Again, unseeable before all the lights were on. And then we head inside.
It's obviously a set stone. That's what I'm telling you about.
Obviously.
Weed. That's a lot of dead weed.
It's a ton of weed, man. Acting like weed's a problem. That's just like your opinion, man.
Hey, he's got that videotape thing.
Go over here and find that videotape thing.
Dawn of the Wolf.
You don't need it for anything. It's just...
Randy's cooch. Are these? It's porn. Interesting taste, Eugene.
Dawn of the Wolf's not porn. Dawn of the Wolf was in the first game, if you played it. Spoiler alert if you didn't. was a movie that Joel said he took his daughter to because she was into all that glitzy vampire stuff. I think it was sort of a hit on
Shit if she
Twilight.
saw this place. How'd he get this together? Must have taken him forever.
I wish he'd told me about this. Could have helped him out.
Little bong mask.
It's a gas mask bong.
God, he was so smart.
Also looks like that guy from Star Wars in Mos Eisley when he takes Jabba the Hutt to where Han Solo's ship is. Kind of talks like that. Somehow they understand him. As if that was a language. Alright. Nothing else in here except for this, which then will get you moving to the next part. So once you're done looking around, you can grab this. But just know that once you grab it,
There we go.
this part's over. Not that there's anything else to find in here.
It's fine.
You having a hard time?
No, I got it.
Fuck. Give me that.
Oh, yeah, like you're gonna get it.
You know who could get it? Abby, with her arm!
Okay.
She's massive.
Yeah.
These guys are weak compared to that. Look at their arms. They're nothing. Abby's arms are like my leg. Or bigger.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I got it open, didn't I?
Smells good.
Real good.
I mean, been we stuck here a while, right?
It's too cold to go anywhere else. Might as well light up.
Totally trapped.
Let's get token, man.
Can I ask you a question?
I don't know, can you?
Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being like absolute trash. And 10 being life altering. How would you rate our kiss from last night?
Why are we still talking about this? You said it was a mistake.
You mean the kiss where I got called some kind of bigoted names, and then Joel pushed a guy, and then we ruined the whole dance, and the whole night was over, and then the whole town was talking about me the next day? That kiss.
I asked you to rate our kiss?
I don't know.
Hello to the joiner, whoever that is.
I give it a 6.
A 6? Wow.
Like a solid 6.
Okay.
There are a lot of people around.
Yeah, but 6.
Oh. What? I mean, now I really want to know how you'd rate it.
Doing a little gameplay video here. My plan is to show people where all the hidden stuff is, show them where the collectibles are, show them some of the gameplay. Doing a whole walkthrough, but
Have you met you?
before I do all the editing and everything, I'm on live broadcast here. I'll be saving the videos, and then I'll be editing them down and putting them online as full-size game. So if you're watching now, this is the hard copy. Way better than a 6. She's burned down this whole dried out place by just flicking that thing right into this dead weed factory. Everything goes up in flame. Well, it's cold outside anyway. And now on to Abby with her arm. She is bigger than every guy in her party. She is now searching for, she doesn't know it, but the patrol that she started following was probably Joel's and Tommy's, but it could have been Ellie's. Because when she said, "Where's the patrol?"
Great. Infected.
It then switched to Ellie. Now, in a minute here, you're not going to have control over not being seen.
Oh my god.
They're just going to start rushing at you.
Oh shit.
Even though I made no noise, you notice, they came after me anyway. Because it's part of the gameplay, it's part of the drama, it's part of the story. You just have to run from them at this part. This is where I would slide and be kind of happy, because it made me move on a little faster. Can't turn around and fight them, you just have to keep going. You're going to come to a fenced-in area where you're going to climb over. I'm going back the way I came, as you see, because I went the wrong way. If you do, you can turn around pretty well. The only thing you don't want to do is get closed into a spot, because they are coming in behind you. And they will grab you.
Okay, up this way.
I'm going to climb up here. They can climb up on these. The first time I played this, I thought I could climb up on the trucks and stay away from them, but you can't. So, you have to find your way to this fence and then climb over it. Keep running. You'll come to a spot here where you have to squeeze through. There's some stairs over. There's some stuff you can collect here before you go up the stairs. You're going to go up these stairs and then you're going to squeeze through this fence, which is pretty cool. Little cinematic. But it's also play, because I'm pressing forward to move. They're breaking through. Looks pretty grim for our new character that we don't know that much about yet. Deadly. Probably. There's no way she can get out of this. Just make sure you spam the square button here. If you don't, you'll die right here. And you won't get to see the heroic Joel. We're about to run into our first real difficult part of the game so far. As you come around the corner here, it's kind of a cool graphic when he throws a firebomb in there. You want to go through here. You can see Tommy come through. I guess he's burning alive out there. Grab this stuff here before you go around.
It don't matter. What it does is where we going. I reckon we go out the back. We can make it to the lodge.
Little thing if you need health. She's full now, so I'm okay. Full with bullets. There's bullets there. There's another health bar there if you need it.
We gotta warn everyone. Come back with a cleanup crew.
We gotta live through this first.
Doesn't seem like there's anything else around. But you can grab a melee weapon right here. It's only got 2 hits on it, so it's not going to last too long. But
Gotta move! Get to the door!
nothing else in this room. So you can just open the door and head on in. And they will come. And they will seal the door behind you. If you do find yourself boxed in, you can run. Sometimes you can get away. Other times they will overtake you. Now I'm going to heal here, which is you click up on your keypad and then you hit the R2 button. Now the plan in here is to fight as long as you can to let Tommy and Joel push this thing over to her the window so that you can climb out. It's a very difficult little battle here because clickers come in, runners come in, all kinds of infected come in and come after you. So you may die a few times here. I know I did when I was first getting into the game. And we'll find out what happens now.
I'll get the gondola to the window. You two keep those infected off. Oh, this thing is heavy. There's a clicker! Damn it! Get this thing off of me! You need me to take over? I got it. Just keep those infected.
I'll watch out for the clickers because obviously they are the worst.
Just need another minute.
Uh-oh, not gonna make it. Little bullets there, you can climb out. You can kind of avoid those guys as best you can. Fight them when you have to. And run out of there. There's nothing you have to get in there that you can't miss. There's no collectibles. The bullets sort of keep spawning because they figure you need them to keep fighting. You just want to keep running here. If you turn around to fight, you might get one or two, but it won't last very long before you get overtaken and killed. So running is imperative here.
Hey, I'm Tommy. That's Joel. What's your name?
Abby.
Abby, are you okay?
Now I found myself, even though I figure I knew she was looking for Joel, I did find myself wondering who she was looking for, and you can kind of tell by her facial expressions and her blinking and her double take that she was a little bit surprised to be with Tommy and Joel here.
I can work. All right. I'll get the door. All right. You ride with me. Come on.
Go!
Oh, sure. I'll take your help while I'm scheming against you. And you can tell that she feels a little odd about this situation.
What about this one? When I was 12, I found a skateboard. Uh-oh. And I tried to get on it. And it shot right out from underneath me.
Wait, how did you get the scar?
I fell on my knife.
Okay. Chemical burn. I died myself. Why? To cover a bite mark?
Hey, you're not supposed to tell people that.
I got jumped by an infected when I was 14. And turns out I'm immune, so it healed with a ring of fucked up teeth marks and cysts. Ow!
Fuck you.
What? Hey!
I told you a real fucking story.
I did tell you a real fucking story.
Are you in a bite mark?
What?
Did you hear that?
Jesse?
Mm-mm. Jesse?
Just stay there, okay? Just
That's the wrong guy.
What? Just turn around. What are you
doing?
You're supposed to be on patrol.
There's a blizzard outside.
We're patrolling, can't you tell?
Why are you here?
People are counting on you. Get that? What we do matters.
Well, then why aren't you at the fucking lookout?
Because Tommy and Joel didn't show up.
What do you mean?
We waited for them for an hour. I was looking for their horses when I saw lights.
Maybe they just went back to town without being replaced. No way. How much of their region have you covered?
Not much.
Then we split up. Go at it from different sides. And we can cover the whole thing in a few hours.
I don't like you riding solo. We don't know what's out there.
Exactly. What if they need help?
Okay, I'll head west. Dina can take south, and you come from the east. But be smart about it, yeah?
Yeah. I love the looks of determination on their faces. The graphics are just so much better than they were in the first game, things like that. One thing to point out, though, is that still the gameplay faces are not as good, obviously, as the movie faces. I'm hoping that when the PS5 comes out this holiday, 2020, that we get an improvement on that. In the video screens, it's great. People look like people. When you're playing the people during gameplay, though, some of their faces seem a little static and not living, kind of dead eyes. Obviously, they're not real people, so I think that has not yet been completely perfected. It's pretty damn good, especially when you think back to the days of like Spider-Man on the Atari, when it was just a red and blue blob climbing up the side of a red building that was just a square. Now here we are with Abby's friends, all nice people, I'm sure. Don't you fret, Monsieur Joel, you won't feel any pain. I'm sorry. Sometimes I sing songs.
No, it's all right. We'll just ride out the storm and get out of here.
Yeah, they'll get out of your hair.
You want nothing.
You have no idea.
Don't get electricity in here. Fuck everything.
There are solar panels on the roof.
Who are these people? How long y'all been here?
Since yesterday?
Yes.
Yep.
What are y'all doing out this way?
Just passing through. You two live nearby?
We do. A few hours down the hill. Y'all should come back with us, restock before we head out.
Appreciate it.
Try and keep mostly quiet during these story scenes so that if you're interested in watching them, you can kind of hear what they're saying and what's going on. See everyone's reaction when he says who he is.
Because they have.
Oh. Ow.
All clear?
He's out. Put him against the wall.
Tommy! Get off me! Get off me! Ah! Puta madre.
Joel.
She's scary.
Who are you?
Yes.
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed and get this over with?
Tourniquet his leg. Do it.
Don't you fucking move.
God! Damn it!
Ooh. I'm not a big fan of the looks of this.
You don't get to rush this.
Yep. I think if you took an iron to the side of the head like that, that's it. I mean, I don't think she doesn't want to rush his death. But I think smashing him in the side of the noggin like that is probably it. It also sounded like a watermelon exploding. I don't know. Maybe you just have more and more brain damage with each hit, but I can't imagine still being alive after getting smashed in the brain with that. Ooh, it had some kind of a... Oh. She's very impetuous. Instead of... I wouldn't have gotten off the horse like that, but she decided to. Go down that way, you'll fall to your death. Well, I guess you do have to go down. Across.
Joel! Tommy!
The other thing I notice people do in this game that I wouldn't do is scream and yell when you're trying to be quiet. Because that is the opposite of quiet. If you didn't know, screaming and yelling, not quiet. Can't go that way. That's what we want to get to, is over there, or at least that's what we think. I know it. So do you. She doesn't. Your move, of course, is just to make your way in.
There it is.
See, I know what's in there, so for me, I'm kind of like, well, how can we get in without being seen? But it just seems like she's coming straight at it, and there's no other way. Just enjoy the scenery, the amazing graphics, but I want to get to Tommy and Joel, so I'm going to head inside. Some weaponry in here. Fish, if you're interested. Probably not going to help you in your fight to save Joel, but you could look at the fish if you want. More fish. See, I would feel weird about just bursting into rooms. We don't know who's in here, and we hear screaming. But, whatever.
Joel.
Yeah, he sounds like he's in a bad way. Couldn't see at what number, or I'd say 9 iron, or 6 iron, or whatever. But, home sweet home, so don't worry. Oh.
Up outside.
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here, or the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No! Fucking kill you.
Oh. Well, that was a bit hard to take.
Ellie? Ellie. I'm sorry.
Jesse! They're down here!
You know, it's definitely a forwarding of the story, and it makes sense that Ellie might be the main focus of this story, since Joel was in the original story. I had heard some rumors. I had tried to avoid most of the trailers and most of the spoiled information, but I had my suspicions that something like that might happen. I didn't want it to. I actually wanted this game to be Joel again, but they made this decision, and I actually think the game is quite incredible. It does some things that that alone that other games wouldn't have done. And sometimes that might be okay, because you want to play Joel again. You want to play Link again when you're playing Zelda, but can you imagine if they murdered him brutally in the sequel? Zelda 2, Link's brains are bashed in. I was kind of surprised to see Tommy still alive, I guess, but when you see that, for the most part,
Where he wants to make sure you're eating.
at least the main guy back there was sort of trying to stop them from hurting Ellie, and Joel seemed to be the main focus.
Yeah, the guys that we would need to do this smart would be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, but that's what's happening.
What if we get hit by hunters again?
Is this you talking or is this her?
It's a valid point.
If it were you or me, Joel would be halfway to Seattle already.
No, he wouldn't.
He absolutely fucking would be.
Well, we don't even know for certain that they're from Seattle.
Washington Liberation Front. That's what you said was on those patches.
What if they stole those jackets?
That's...
What the WLF move?
What are you doing? You know what? I'm leaving tomorrow. And if you want to come with me, great.
You have no idea what you're walking into. You don't know how large that group is, how armed.
I don't care. You can't talk me out of this.
Give me a day to talk to Maria. Okay? There's got to be some folks you can spare.
And if she won't budge?
Well, I'll figure something out. One day. Please.
Always amazing to me how connected you can get and emotionally invested in video game characters. It's obviously a booming industry. They make more money than most movies. And they're very involved. They put a lot of money into them. The voice work's spectacular, and obviously they look beautiful. And with the 5 coming out and the new Xbox later on, we just got more great stuff ahead. Computer builds are obviously still ahead of the game in terms of the power you can put into them, but they don't tend to have, from what I have seen, there's a lot of great strategy on computer games, but not as much in the story-driven graphic dramas.
I want to stop at his house before we leave.
But I might be wrong.
I just have to pick something up.
You may find that you just want to get back to the action. When you have a scene like this, of course, this is a recovery scene after what we saw. You can't run, so it's just walk as slow as possible.
Looks like Tommy took one. Now Maria's got the stables locked down.
Fucking Tommy. We'll figure something else out on the way.
Sounds like Tommy went on his own.
Okay.
Probably
A lot harder.
didn't want to talk to his wife about it, and also didn't want to have Ellie at risk.
I know. Just don't want you to feel like you have to. Ellie. You go. I go. End of story. You need to get your backpack.
I hid it by the east gates. I figured you'd want to slip out that way.
Typically, when they have scenes like this, they're not trying to trick you and put secret collectibles out on the street away from your goal. Most interesting thing about this is the whole street is closed off, so Joel had a nice little private house that no one could get to, and he couldn't get out of when he came out. He just was trapped. Wall over there, snowbanks over there. There are some interesting things in the house here. Some collectible things, a journal entry.
Hey. What do you need? I can go get it.
I want to do it.
Okay.
I'm okay. Come on.
I'll hang out down here.
Thanks.
Typically, just like any adventure game, starting way back with the point and clicks, you want to go around each room in each area and search.
Dino, I guess. That was a good day.
That's important to the story, of course, so it's good to find that. Pretty good drawing. Sketch. Better than I could do. She's a fake video game character who doesn't exist. A bunch of ones and zeros. Imagine that. Nothing in this middle room, so you could just proceed to the kitchen. You want to pick up the mug because that's your journal entry. As I said earlier, the journal entries are one of the things that have a certain amount you have to collect in order to get an achievement. She writes some poetry. Pause that if you want to read it. After you can head upstairs. A lot of peripheral details, paintings, making this feel more like a home. You see pictures of Joel and Tommy. In here, we have some of Joel's wood carvings. Another journal entry relating to finding this guitar up here. The connection there is, if you remember the beginning of the game, he promised he would teach her to play, so seeing the guitar, she remembers promises. Interesting detail here, they have the hot plate for heating up the water for taking baths. Just things that they made sure that they put in there to say, most people probably wouldn't have noticed if you went to the bathroom and it was just a tub and there was nothing like that. You wouldn't say, hey, how are they heating the water? But when you realize it's there, you think about a post-apocalyptic game where there's no civilization and they have to sort of rebuild everything. They wouldn't have a power company that would give them hot water. Go in here for a touching moment from the coat Joel wore in the first game. The picture you can look at. Which was, of course, important in the first game, too, because she got this photograph back from Tommy. Now, make sure you are done looking at whatever details you want to look at before you pick up this box. This, of course, the watch that Joel's daughter gave him and was broken and he never stopped wearing. It does have a lot of sentimental value. Because when you're done with the box, you're going to get called downstairs and move on with the story.
Ellie, can you come down here?
Technically, I guess you could still search around up here.
Come on down.
But there's nothing else there, so as long as you got the things we pointed out, you can head downstairs.
Maria, I'm headed to Seattle. I wish I could let it go, but I can't. I have to bring these people to justice. Ellie's going to try to come after me, but stop her. Take her guns, lock up the horses, maybe lock her up. Buy me some time so I can end this. Love you always, Tommy. He's going to get himself killed.
He should have taken me with him. You should have given us a group to go after those fuckers.
Wish I could.
You gonna try to lock me up?
I prefer that you stay.
That's not gonna fucking
I
happen.
prefer that you stay, but I know you better. You going with her?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna sneak out of here?
Yeah.
On foot?
Yeah.
I told the stable to let you out with your horse. Grab some ammo, too.
Thank you, Maria.
Just, do me a favor. Bring my dumbass husband home in one piece, please.
Of course.
Because that's within my power, somehow.
Get going, you're losing light.
Incredible. The detail, the coloring in the eye, the lighting from the window, just reflecting there.